Our job as leftists, especially us cishet white men, whatever, our job as leftists is to find a way to appeal to these young men and pull them over to the left and make them see that the conservatives do not have the answers to their problems, okay? That we do. Their problems matter. Making them feel like they don't is not helping. It's not, okay? Okay, so we literally just uploaded a men's rights video to the YouTube channel, or rather, it's something that's like in the realm of that. But I feel like the video in question is woefully underdone. You can see right here, it's how to fix men. Okay, it's 12 minutes long. It's a nice little segment about like leftist messaging toward men. And what's funny is I brought that up right as like this bigger discourse was dropping. There's this guy who's on Twitter is Lil Baby Gandhi, aka Sid, and he famously posts really bad takes, or at least not always bad, but definitely controversial. Okay, yeah, like Ungwas said, he's 50-50 objectively correct versus what the f is wrong with you. I've seen some what the f is wrong with you takes from this guy. Okay, this one is not one of them, although people are treating him like it is. He said, the reason young men flock to the alt-right MRA movement is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them for our own sake. So I think this is pretty true, actually. I do. You know, leftists are famously not good at messaging to young men. They're just not. And we'll get into some of the pushback on that point that I've seen, but like, look at some of these replies. Like Hasanabi just said LMAO. Like, what does that mean? Like, yeah, dude, of all the times you could go for a dunk, this sure as shit ain't it. Like he does Chad Vice. Hassan, isn't this literally what Chad Vice is about? An alternative to right-wing incel dating advice. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, I like Hassan, but what's the deal? This is not a bad take. I don't get it. Vaush said objectively true and correct pill. The left has basically ceded all male self-help discourse to the right. This isn't even a controversial position. I've heard people talking about this problem for years. And it's true. It's very true. That's why we had Gamergate, right? Gamergate back in, the 20-aughts. So the left is famously, meme famously, bad at messaging to men, which is exhibited by the number of Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, and Matt Walsh fans there are. And how many of them, they're astronomically disproportionately young men. Okay, well, Matt Walsh might be older men who are divorced and shit. But Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, and Steven Crowder pretty much exclusively appeal to young men. Okay, I don't want to say exclusively, but it's pretty close. Vaush continued this discourse, right? Let me go through a few more of these replies real quick. Clean your room is pretty brain dead advice. Yeah. Will someone please humor my ignorance and tell me what the acronym MRA means to you? Google the acronym and numerous things come up. Okay, I don't know. Weird take. Here's the actual advice I give to my teen boys as a leftist. 1, always get enthusiastic consent. And why? I guess. 2, I mean, that's not terrible advice, but consent is fine. You know, they don't have to be jumping up and down for joy because you offered your. There's a limit to how enthusiastic you can be about that. Well, I guess there's not, but 2, save the planet. What does this mean? Save the planet how? That's very vague. 3, don't say that. It's actually kind of racist. What? Say what? 4, you guys need to be nicer to name. 5, would you like to spend some time with me today? What? Your boys are saying so many racist things that it's in your top 3 comments. What happened to make them this way, huh? Interesting. That's such brain dead advice. This is exactly. Wait. This is a joke, right? This is a joke. It has to be. Look, these are all great things. I take no problem with them and all boys should take them in. But how does this feel? The whole they're filling with MRA, all right men's advice. They want advice on what to take pride in, what to value, what to strive for. He replied, boys and young men absolutely can find pride and identity in being good humans. Striving for kindness is one thing. Joys can be found in seeing how one makes others feel good. This is the shit I'm talking about. What do you mean be a good human being? They're being inundated constantly with information from the outside world that they should be the ones picking up chicks, that they should be the ones paying for dates and making the money, that they should be the ones, with a job, a good, solid job, and be big and strong and muscular and never have any kind of emotions or anything like that. They're the ones that have to take care of everyone else, right? You have to combat that because when they're inundated with that, they get stressed. And when they get stressed, they look for answers, right? They get stressed, depressed, and disillusioned, and they look for answers. We have to have the answers. We can't just say, just be a good person. That doesn't work like that. I really feel like the online left has learned nothing from Gamergate from this recent incel discourse. It's really bad. It's really bad. Okay? Anyway, that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. So Vaush says, I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't. 1000% true. He was saying this while quote tweeting, men don't fall down, quote unquote, the alt-right / MRA pipeline because the left isn't doing good enough outreach. They choose to subscribe to fascist ideology because they have an investment in maintaining their position in the social hierarchy, and the liberation of other groups threatens that. So this is very silly. Okay. If you're like a high level conservative, like level 99, like level 50 or above conservative, this may be literally what you're doing, right? Maybe you are conscious of this, but I guarantee you that like Vaush said, 12-year-old level 10 and under conservatives are not doing this. Okay. I guarantee you, they're just like baby conservatives. And when they're a baby conservative, you can still pull them over, right? Zuko's mama's take is hot garbage. Oh yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. This is like, okay, imagine this, right? Here, let's fix this tweet a little bit. Ready? Black people don't, quote unquote, they're not stealing because they're disenfranchised, right? They choose to steal, right? Because they have an investment in and not buying cheap items. Like, if you were to do this to any other group of people besides men, people would lose their absolute shit, as they should. Okay? As they should. Because you can't say this about an entire group of people. You can't. What this is doing is, this is a conservative reactionary take. Because what this is doing is it's essentializing men. Like they're just, it just comes down to freedom of choice, right? Like they're choosing to do this. Individually, that is true. Okay, but why are they choosing to do this? What's the systemic reason that they're choosing to do this? And that's what we got to tackle. And if you don't want to tackle that, you don't want to fix the problem. Okay, you're dead weight to me. All right? I'm sure there are men who have objectively looked at the power structure and decided they prefer maintaining it for their explicit benefit. But it's so brain dead to assume that it's the universal direction all men on the far right are coming from. Exactly. That's certainly not where I was coming from when I was a conservative. I was an idiot. All right. I wasn't even a conservative past the age of like 18. All right. My view on it was that I don't know. Like, I just believed what I was saying. Like, women have their place and men have theirs. And trans women aren't real women. And, I did some fat people hate. I dipped my toes in all kinds of bigotry. Okay, let's just say that. But the reason that I did that was not because I'm like choosing to subscribe to a fascist ideology. I did that because that's what I was taught was correct. And I believed that. All right, because it seemed correct. All right, let's see what Guitar Rocker said. Black people don't commit crime because the right is oppressing them. They choose to be thugs because they're just inherently violent and have an investment in upholding their violent, low IQ culture. This is literally that, but with men. That's very good. Beautiful. Thank you, Guitar Rocker. Very good. Also, you don't choose to fall into an all-right pipeline. You get indoctrinated into it. I mean, there's an element of choice. You cannot take that piece of the responsibility away from them, right? There is that responsibility. So don't get it twisted. But the overall system is such that people are choosing to do that because they're the ones that are reaching out to these young men. So Vaush said this, right? Cannot stress enough how important it is. We already read it. He continues. Leftists and progressives have absolutely no idea how unnecessarily repellent they come off to so many people, and they get angry at the idea of being a more effective social movement because they don't want to share their social spaces with people who might have gone another way. Leftists will write master's theses on the effect of socioeconomic conditions on crime, and then shrug when 10 million more young men fall to fascism because their boy brains must just be innately fascist and they choose to be evil, and there is no way this could have been prevented. This is always a good topic to feel smug over because the replies and quote tweets are saturated with people who literally think we should care about men's problems and offer them advice. Is a dog whistle for we should build a Fourth Reich, thus proving the problem. Yeah. I agree with this. I don't even know why this is a fight that we're having, right? And look at this. You always find a way to blame women for violence against them. What? It's really simple, man. It is nobody's responsibility to save some sexless losers. They're not the only people suffering from social isolation, but most aren't becoming fascist as a result. Wonder why? Okay, I've got news for you. when you have a young man, cishet young man, who is bitchless, right? And he does not want to be bitchless anymore. One of the only things that's going to matter to him is no longer being bitchless, okay? And if you have an entire society filled with young men with this problem, and we're not giving them the answer to that problem, and the conservatives, our opposition, are giving them an answer, guess where those young men are going to move? Right? Literally right. Yeah, right. They're going to move right. So our job as leftists, especially us cishet white men, whatever, our job as leftists is to find a way to appeal to these young men and pull them over to the left and make them see that the conservatives do not have the answers to their problems, okay? That we do. Their problems matter. Making them feel like they don't is not helping. It's not, okay? I said this earlier in the stream. There will always be somebody who has it worse than you do. Always. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Hispanic. Like, I don't care if you live in America, Britain, Africa, okay? There is one kid in Africa who is 12 years old who had one limb chopped off by the capitalism machine, right? He was fed to the capitalism machine. It took a limb from him, and he works 80 hours a week, right? They force him to work with one arm. And there's somebody out there who's got it worse than that kid, okay? Somebody having it worse than you do does not mean that you do not have a right to complain about your problems or air your grievances, okay? And treating that as though that is the case is not helping anybody, all right? It is hurting our cause. So, young men who cannot get pussy have the problem that they cannot get pussy, and we need to address that. We need to tell them how they can get pussy, all right? Because otherwise, they're just not going to be leftists. And I got news for you guys. The conservative party is mostly made up of disaffected men, okay? That's just the truth. There are certainly women in the ranks and people of all kinds of orientations and colors and shapes and sizes, whatever. But mostly disaffected, especially white men, right? And we're not helping our cause by allowing them to continue to sweep people over. My only pushback is that the right doesn't really treat them well either, but then again, Stockholm Syndrome is a thing. Of course the right doesn't treat them well, but they give them an easy answer. Now, what will always be an uphill battle for the left is that our answers are a little bit more difficult, right? Conservatives give young men an easy answer. They say, well, it's not your fault. It's the woman's fault. It's the feminist's fault. The feminists are the reason that women don't want you anymore. They feel like they're better than you. They feel like they should be working. They feel like they should be the ones in control, right? And they give that answer to these young men and they're like, oh, it's not my fault. I just have to be mad at women because women should be better, right? Yeah, ironic victim card, yeah. It's like saying that non-dysphoric trans people don't matter because they don't have it as bad as your average trans person. Yeah, exactly. Or like another popular one. Another popular one is bi people, right? There's a lot of biphobia among gay people, homosexuals, right? Homosexual people, because bi people are thought to have it easier because they can be with a man or a woman, right? Or they just straight up think it's fake. Like bi people are faking being gay, because like they're like gay light. They have it on easy mode, whatever. And it is true, by the way, that as a bisexual person myself, who mostly is attracted to women and femininity, I've had it a lot easier than most gay people have, because that just has not been a problem for me. That part's true, but my identity is still valid. I still do have problems, not directly as a result of being bi, mind you, but I still got issues in my life, and if I were told that my issues don't matter because somebody else has it worse, I'd be inclined to shove you out my door and slam the door in your face, okay? Don't let it hit your like, that's it. I don't do that, okay? I don't care how much worse your problems are than mine. I still got my problems, all right? And if your problems are so bad that you feel like you have to make my problems seem not bad, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Don't minimize my problems. Don't do it. I don't tolerate that. And nobody should tolerate that. And young men feel like leftists are constantly doing that. And that's why they're all becoming conservatives. Anyway, let's look at some more replies to this Vaush tweet. Maybe 12-year-old white boys shouldn't have invented the patriarchy then? That's pretty true. I'm tempted to unretire to talk to you about this. Ooh, yeah. He retired. Forgot about that. Funny how the original tweet was about men as in adults, not 12-year-olds. Yeah. I like critical age theory, so I'm not going to get too hard on them right now. But, like the alt-right pipeline starts very young. Very young, all right? Believe me, I was there. Here's my take as someone who's legit uncomfortable around men. Men broadly are because society teaches them to be. Boys don't learn social skills the way girls do, and when they seek out people to teach them social skills, the people they find are, as Vaush said, uniformly awful. Maybe if we can get them to instead find figures like Vaush, Shark, and Alec, they can grow up to be good people, and that requires outreach and marketing leftist content toward boys. It's a no-brainer. I don't think that's centrist at all. That's like a really good take. That's legit good. You're right. Men who have not been socialized well generally are shit. That's true. Can't really deny that. Here, wait, what is this? Leftist men do talk to them, and this is what they hear from them. This ought to be good.
Because when women talk, and I admit, I'm just a guy.
Vaush, sweetheart, what's the matter?
Okay, if anyone, hold on, real quickly. If anyone makes an expression like this at the camera at any point, it's legally okay to be sexist towards them. Like, condescend to me, that's okay.
Come on, dude, that's so fucking, I'm sorry, that's funny, dude. Come on.
To evoke several millennia of oppression against you. That's fair.
Darling, I'm very concerned. This is troubling behavior.
Shut up.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, that might have been a little much at the end there. But, Kanye was talking about in a video he just recently uploaded. And if you don't know Kanye, definitely go follow them on YouTube. Subscribe to them. They make really, really good videos. And follow them on Twitch. But they just recently uploaded a video that was like talking about leftists. And one of the points they made was that leftists had to be problematic sometimes. Because one of the ways that conservatives pulls young men in is by being problematic, right? They get canceled. Oh, he's canceled. Oh, they're canceled. Oh, she's canceled. Oh no, the radical left is canceled them because the left cannot take a joke, right? The left cannot handle facts. They can't handle jokes. They can't handle it because they're soy boy cuck leftist pussies, right? Whatever adjective you want to use. Snowflake liberal cuck pussies, right? Perceive martyrdom as attractive. Yeah, it's true. That is true. But you have to be a little bit problematic. You gotta go there sometimes. I'll give you a great example of something I did recently. Chaya Raichik's face was recently revealed to us. It rose up from behind the hills like the fucking Teletubbies baby, right? But her face was revealed to us, and much like the Teletubbies baby, not all that, right? Like, it's an interesting, she just looks like a normal ass woman, right? But like, I made this post because I thought it was hilarious, and I still do, okay? I still think, I stand by this post. It's very funny, and I'm proud of it. But people were not very happy with me, certain people. To be honest, anyone who reacts positively to this post is no comrade of mine. I was like, okay, I don't care. Elm Fork, somebody who I actually respect because they do a lot of IRL organizing. They like organize these guys. They're awesome. But they replied and they're like, she's never going to see this or give a shit about it. Your friends who struggle with the way they feel about their appearance will, though. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Go organize something. Like, what the f***? Like, who cares? Anyway, yeah, I got some negative attention from it, but like, who cares, man? Yeah, this is funny. It's funny. And also, if you start posting shit like this, and people who are like central, right-leaning, like centrist, whatever, find it funny, they may be more inclined to follow you, and then actually listen to the shit you have to say. You have to do this. You have to get people's attention. And sometimes to get attention, you got to shock them a little bit with shit like this. This isn't even really that shocking, by the way. I could go way the fuck harder if I wanted to. But that's how you recruit some of these people. You have to do this, okay? One more point before I get to my last point. Something that somebody brought up is that, like, there are people like Hassan, me. They actually mentioned me. It's crazy. I came up next to Hassan, Shark, and Heem, right? And they mentioned me with them. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'm there now. But anyway, enough of tooting my own horn. They mentioned that, like, there are already plenty of male leftist creators who are trying to push out this message, and it's the almighty algorithm that's stopping us. I do think that's part of it. That was your tweet? Oh, okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you. It made me feel very good. I do agree in part with that. My issue with that line of thought, though, is look at the way leftists, like, as a group, will treat women's issues, like individual women's issues in their lives. I'm stealing this bit from Vaush, but like when a woman says she's having trouble with her dating life, they'll break down everything. They'll break down everything. and ask her like all these different questions, all these intimate details about what's going on and how we can fix this. A man comes and says, I'm having trouble dating. What's the answer? Maybe just don't be weird, sweaty. Maybe just like be better, sweaty. You know, like that's literally the answer. Or like go socialize, go outside sometimes, right? Or yeah, haha, you're an incel. Yeah. The bitchless, right? So leftists, and I'm guilty of it as well, leftists will often do this thing where they make men feel like they're p***s because they don't have a sex life. And that's bad. That's real bad. Okay, we need to stop that. I came up with a really good thing in my head, my very special little brain earlier. Ready? It's like this. Men generally play life on easy mode, right? As far as like being a cis man versus being a trans man or a trans woman or a cis woman, we got it pretty good, right? We chose life on easy mode. But even within easy mode, there are challenges. And just because it's easy mode does not mean that everybody is going to be equally good at playing it. Think about it. If you have somebody and you put them in front of a video game, right? In front of a screen, and you want, let's take Katie, for instance. Great example. She's somebody who I had to sit down in front of Skyrim because I knew she'd like it. And she started playing it and she was dog shit. Okay. She was on the easiest mode and I could feel her. I would like hug her while she was playing. And she like physically tensed up when she saw a wolf, a level 1 wolf. Very easy to kill. One shot, right? She was really bad at it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and berate her for being bad at it. Okay. You help them. You keep moving them forward. You say, hey, if they get stuck, you know, you guide them in the right direction. You don't just let them sit there and bang their head against the fucking TV while you berate them and say how bad they are at it. That's going to make them want to quit the whole damn thing. You know, it doesn't matter if it's on easy mode. It doesn't matter if like, oh, you know, like I've been playing video games since I was little and I could do this on expert. No problem. I could speed run it. Okay. She doesn't care about that, bro. She wants to get good at the game. All right. She wants to play and enjoy it. And she ain't going to do that if you're sitting here berating her. You just can't do that. The first step in changing is self-accountability. Yes, but we need to message that in a digestible format. You know, it's a systemic problem. Blaming the left for all the sexism and bigotry in the world is the single dumbest thing Vaush has ever said. I don't think that Vaush said that. I don't think that's a thing Vaush said, Rain. I do agree with Vaush's take. I think that the left does need to do a better job as a group of addressing this issue. Don't play the game for them, but hey, go to this cave if you want to level up quick and the axe might help. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You like, yeah, you know, just guide them in the right direction. And that's what we need to do with young men. Even if they're playing life on easy mode. You know, sometimes not everybody's going to have the same skill level. They just need a little push in the right direction. All right. So just remember that. And, you know, if you do see men asking for that advice and you don't know what kind of advice to give them, send them to somebody who might actually know, right? I'm not always in the know. Like, I don't always have the right answers, but, you know, they might listen to me and I might have something good to say. Shark is a really good guy you can reference them to. I do think Vaush is a good one, despite what some people think. And Hassan, right? Hassan Piker. All very good people. There are others, but, you know, those are the main ones that come off the top of my head. Like I said, the bottom line is just have a little bit of empathy, have a little bit of understanding for where these guys are coming from, because I used to be one of them, you know? So I ended up here because I've had good role models. You know, I found good role models. Hassan was one of them. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. And like I said in the last men's rights video, be cruel to systems and be kind to people. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.